We're joined now by Curtis Wilkerson of Inside Arkansas. And Curtis, thanks for joining us here in the Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to be here. A little bit of deja vu because we did exactly this just a couple years ago, but very cool and very good vibes here in San Francisco.
Yeah, Hog's hoping that the Sweet 16 part of that at least goes, exactly how it did a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And the challenge was greater then. Honestly, I mean, they faced the top #1 overall seed in Gonzaga, and they were able to get through that. And this is a little bit of a different challenge, a different situation. Is Arkansas a Cinderella right now as a 10 seed? People were talking they would be a very expensive one given the NIL situation with the Razorbacks, but
it's
very cool
nonetheless.
nonetheless.
It's a golden slipper, not a glass one.
That's a good way to put it right there. I like that.
I don't think anyone else in the country, at least my buying gauge of it, wants Arkansas to be Cinderella, but when you're the lowest seed left, if the slipper fits, we'll see. Curtis, you've been following this team now throughout the postseason. You were in Providence. You've obviously been in Fayetteville plenty. Just the last month, what has this team found? What's been different?
Well, they found it. And I think for the longest we were kind of wondering what it was, but really an identity for this basketball team. They've really, I think, found a way to hang their hat on the defensive end of the floor. They figured some things out there, and it's been fascinating to see how adaptable and how moldable they've been to change, because it has been a situation where Boogie Flan goes down, and you wonder what's it going to look like? How is this team going to score points? And it really wound up putting guys like DJ Wagner and Jonell Davis into different roles that might have suited them better. Then a dude Thero goes down. You wonder, well, what are we going to do with that? How's this going to work? Trevin Brazil's ready and waiting in the wings, and he steps up and is playing some of the best basketball of his career. And then now you've been able to see them sort of reintegrate guys back into that without really messing with the chemistry and everything that they built. So it's honestly kind of been a masterclass by John Calipari, which I know a lot of people won't be happy to hear that, maybe over in Lexington. But hey, the truth is the truth. And so I think these guys have really just come together. It's clicked at the right time. We've heard so much about how John Calipari's teams start playing their best basketball late in the season. They've done that, and now it's carried over into March, and maybe they're peaking at the right time here.
You mentioned the reintegration, Boogie Flan rejoining the team after a couple months. I think there were some people saying, oh, man, they've been playing better without Boogie. Do you really want him back? I mean, to me, that's a silly thought, especially when you have so few scholarship guys. You just want fresh legs. But what'd you see out of Boogie last week, and just how he's kind of progressed even this week at practice?
Well, it's interesting because Boogie was a guy who scored a lot for Arkansas, and he had all of his assists. He was a very ball-dominant player for the Razorbacks early on in his career. And the question was whether or not that was conducive with winning basketball. And it would be easy for people to look at that 0-5 start in SEC play and say, well, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't. And I think there was more to it than that. I think this thing would have clicked for Arkansas at some point, whether Boogie had gone down or not. But what we've seen in the last couple games here is Boogie's adaptable himself. And he hasn't been necessarily efficient shooting the basketball. Like, the percentages haven't been great, but he's been impacting winning in other ways. Arkansas has needed an extra ball handler on the floor. He's been great about not turning over the basketball and getting other guys involved. That was huge against St. John's. He's come up with key steals on the defensive end of the floor in both of these games down here. So when the shots aren't falling, how can you help your team win? And he's been able to do that in a variety of ways, and that really helps with that reintegration process there for the Razorbacks. And like you mentioned, they need a little bit of depth, right? And it's definitely come in handy here recently.
And then the final piece of that puzzle seems to be Adu Thero. Cal, talking a couple days ago on the Pat McAfee show, sounded very gung-ho. Talking today, a little less so maybe, with Adu not practicing fully today, or really at all. You got to watch him sit on the bench for about 15 minutes. What's the best case, you think, with Thero in San Francisco?
I think best case, and the hunch that I have is, he got back to a full practice yesterday, and we saw the clips that they put out with him taking a little bit of contact and getting after it. This has been a lower body injury. It's different than Boogie's. His was a thumb, but he was still able to run and condition and stay in shape and keep his game legs underneath him. Well, when you're dealing with a leg, it's a little bit different, right? So my guess is that Adu had a full practice, and he probably woke up this morning feeling very sore from that. And so I think, with Arkansas, they're probably looking at it going, we could get him back out there and run him hard again, or you could rest him, let him recover, and then see how he feels tomorrow, which I would imagine would be a little bit better, and then go from there. So why risk it, even if he's feeling just a little bit sore in there? I still get the hunch that he's going to play. He seemed way more upbeat about it in the locker room when we were able to talk to him than John Calipari did, but he's always playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers, right? But if Arkansas can bring him off the bench, Cal mentioned that 12 to 15 minute range. Sometimes he says that and it winds up being 30 or 35. I actually kind of believe him in this case, but if he can give Trevin Brazile a blow in there and come in and defend Darion Williams, and you have him where you don't know if he's in game shape just yet, but can you get him in short spurts where he plays so hard, you know that he's going to do that, he can be an impactful player for Arkansas, especially on the defensive end of the floor and on the backboards, and I hope that we're able to see him out there tomorrow.